Saral Japani YouTube channel presents Japanese lessons. Hello friends, this is Sujoy Chatterjee welcoming you in yet another episode of this series on Japanese learning. Today is lesson 18. In the last lesson, we started a new topic, the much talked about one, that is kanji. We learned the first 20 kanjis of grade 1, and today we shall learn the next 10 kanjis, that is from 21 to 30. So presenting lesson 18, kanji grade 1, 21 to 30 of 80. So today we start with the tree radical. So this is the symbol for tree or wood. In On'yomi, it's called boku ya muku. In Kun'yomi, it's called ki or ko. So these are the meanings in On'yomi. Moku, which means wood, which is the first of the five elements, and it's also used to represent Thursday. Then we have bokuto. Bokuto is the wooden sword. In Kun'yomi, tree is called ki, tree or wood, and also shrub, bush, wood, timber, wooden clappers, which is used for signaling the beginning or end of a performance. Then we have kigi. Kigi means many trees or every tree or all kinds of trees. So when a gi is added to ki, it represents many trees. It is a radical in itself, and this is the stroke order. First the horizontal line, then this vertical line, stroke 3 and stroke 4. So in 4 strokes, this kanji will be written. Next we have the kanji for book, or it may also mean root or origin. So the onyomi meaning is the onyomi reading is hon and kun reading is moto. Hon, it means book, volume, script, this or present, current, in question, at issue, main, head, principal, real, genuine, regular, proper, counter for long, cylindrical things, counter for films, TV shows, etc., counter for goals, home runs, etc., and counter for telephone calls as well. So you can see the vastness of meanings or the vastness of usage of this kanji character in Japanese language. And this is possible by different combinations of this kanji with other kanjis or with other hiragana characters. In Kun'yomi, the kanji is called moto, as I said just before this onyomi meaning. And moto means origin, source, base, basis, foundation, root, cause, ingredient, material, base, mix, stock, root of the plant or the tree trunk. When we called motoki, it means original stock. And when we call o moto, it is root, origin, source, cause, basis, foundation, or o moto, religion as well. So if you look at this character, you can see that this is we have the tree radical, and apart from the tree radical we have this horizontal line. So this portion represents the roots of the tree. So that's why this symbol is used to represent root, and it is also used to represent, since root is the origin, so it is also used to represent origin in general, and also it is used for book. Now if you take the word nihon, which is Japan, so ni is the kanji of day or the sun, and hon is this kanji. So you will find this kanji in Nihon spelling as well. And in that, in Nihon, this hon means origin. So origin of the sun, that is the land of rising sun, Nihon or Japan. So let's look at the stroke order. First, we will make the tree radical, and then this additional fifth stroke will be to represent the level of the ground, and below it, this is the root. Next, we move to groove or jungle. So as you can see, this is nothing but the tree radical, and this two combination of two tree radicals represents the groove or jungle. In Onyomi reading, we call it rin. In Kun'yomi, we call it hayashi or hayash. These are some of the usages of this kanji in On'yomi. The first one is rindo, which is path through forest, woodland path, or logging road. Then we have shinkan. Then we have ringyo. Ringyo is forestry. Then we have Zoki Bayashi, which is the groove of miscellaneous trees, copse, coppice or thicket. Then we have Shinsin. We have Norin here. Norin means agriculture and forestry. In Kun'yomi, we have Hayashi, which means woods, forest, groove, thicket, bunch of something, clustered line or collection. So the radical is the tree radical and the stroke order. First we draw the first tree, then we draw the second tree. So this means there will be 8 strokes involved in this kanji. The next is for forest or woods. So the last one was jungle or a thick bush, and this one is for forest. So we can see there are 3 tree radicals. In On'yomi we call it Shin, in Kun'yomi we call it Mori. You will find a lot of places in Japan whose name ends in Mori. So that means it's part of the forest area. So the first one is Shinrin, which is forest or woods. Then we have Shinkan, silent, still, quiet or hushed. Then we have Shinsin, which is dense with trees or deeply forested. So these are some of the usages of this kanji. In Kun'yomi, we have Mori as forest or shrine grove. Then we have Mori Ao Gairu. So this is Mori Ao Gairu, which means forest green tree frog or Rhacophorus arboreus. So this is a tree frog basically. Then we have Aomori. As I said, it is a city or prefecture in Japan, Aomori. And Omori, we know O represents this big. We have done this radical in the last lesson. So this is O and this is Mori. So this means a large forest, Omori. So this is a very good example of combination of two kanjis, and good thing is that we have done both of these. So this radical tree, and there will be strokes order in the same way as we draw a tree. So there will be total 12 strokes involved in this kanji. So although there are 12 strokes, but it is quite simple. If we know how to draw the radical tree, then we can easily draw this. So what is the difference between this Hayashi and this Mori? That means this bush or jungle and this forest. So it's very simple. Mori or forest is obviously denser than the Hayashi or the jungle or bush. So this we need to remember that when we refer to a thin forest or a jungle or a bush, we use this kanji. And when we have to depict a thick forest, then we will use this kanji. The next one is rest, sleep, day off, or retire. So this is the kanji. We will see how this is derived in the next slide. The on reading is Q. The kun reading is Yasumu, Yasumaru, or Yasumeru. The meanings in, or more specifically, the usages in On'yomi, we have Kyukan, which means closure of a library, museum, etc. Then we have Kyuka, which is holiday, day off, or leave from work. Then we have Q, which is leave, furlough, or temporary layoff. And then we have Teikyu, which is regular holiday, fixed day off, regular closing day. So basically, this kanji represents a vacation or resting kind of thing. In Kun'yomi, we have Yasumu, which is to be absent, to take a day off, to rest, to have a break, to go to bed, to lie down, to sleep, to turn in, or to retire. And similarly, we have Yasumaru. Yasumaru means to be rested, to feel at ease, to repose, or to be relieved. So as you can see here, two radicals are used here, person radical and tree radical. So you might be wondering how this is the person radical, because we have learned something else as the person radical. So we will see in the next slide. For the time being, let's look at the stroke order. First stroke, second stroke, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. So now let's see how this kanji has been derived. So this you can see is the person radical. You are familiar with this. So this is a variation of this one. This line is this, and this line is made as a vertical line. This is the reason for this is to make space for the second part of the compound kanji character. So now we have this tree radical. Now if we combine these two, we get this. So this is the reason why this has been squeezed into this variation of the person radical to make space for the entire symbol, so that the entire symbol takes the same space as a radical. Next, we move on to village or town. So here again, you can see the familiar tree radical is there. The on reading of this is son and kun reading is mura. So mura means village. Then we have songikai. This is songikai, which means village assembly. Then we have choson, which means towns and villages. We have noson, which means agricultural community, farm, village, or rural areas. In Kun'yomi, we have Mura as village, Soncho as village headman or village mayor. Then we have Senshu Mura. Senshu Mura is Olympic village or athletes village. And then we have Rinson. Rinson means neighboring village or neighboring village. As I said, tree radical is applicable here, and this is the stroke order. So this is the kanji of village or town. The 26th kanji of this series is exam or school printing proof, or it can even mean correction, that is proofreading. So here again you can see the tree radical. So today we are doing all the kanjis that are derived from the tree radical. So this is the last in this series of the kanji radicals. So in On'yomi, we call it ko or kyo, and in there is no kun'yomi reading for this kanji. So this is purely a Chinese character for which there is no local pronunciation in Japanese. So we have ko as school or proof of a book, document, etc., or counter for proofs. Then we have koka, which is school song. Then we have ikko, which means the whole school or the first proof, one proofreading. Then we have doko, which means the same school or the said school. Then we have kyogo, which means collation, examining and comparing, checking against the original text. That is, once again, it gives the meaning of proofreading. And then finally, we have kyosho, which means collation, and again gives the same meaning, almost the same meaning. No kunyomi, as I said earlier, tree radical, and this is the stroke order. So now let us see how this kanji has been derived. So you can see here the tree radical, and this radical, it represents a person, and from here we have this final kanji symbol, and here you can see the ancient way of writing this character in Chinese. So this is a tree, this represents a person. So how this has been uh, nominated for representing the school, that is not clear, but this is what it is. In Chinese, we use this character to represent the school. Next is the radical water. This is very, very important. In On'yomi, we call water as sui. In Kun'yomi, it is mizu, as most of you must be knowing, or misu as well. Sui means water, which is the fifth of the five elements. It is also used to represent Wednesday or shaved ice served with flavored syrup. Sui is used to represent the water level. Then we have Yosui, which means irrigation water or water for fire extinguishing, city water, cistern water. Then we have Josui, which means clean water or purified water. In Kun'yomi, we call water as Mizu, water, fluid, or it may also indicate liquid. Then we have Nomi Mizu. Nomi Mizu means drinking water or potable water. Nomi, it means to drink, and Mizu means water, so drinking water. Then we have Yobi Mizu, which means pump, priming, rousing, stimulation, or excitement. So this is altogether a totally different meaning that this combination of this radical, water radical, with these parts give. So this is a radical in itself, the water radical, and this is the stroke order. So the stroke order is a bit tricky. We don't start with the leftmost part, but we start with this vertical part. Then this is the second stroke, and then we have the third stroke, again this one and not this one, and finally the fourth stroke will be this one. So writing this character is bit complicated, so one has to practice it to be able to write it properly. So you might be wondering how this symbol represents water. So look at these ancient scriptures. So this is a flowing water. It became this, finally this, finally this, and from here it has finally been set as this symbol for water. So this is how this symbol represents water radical. The 29th of the series is river. In On'yomi we call it sen. In Kun'yomi we call it kawa. Senryu. Senryu means comic haiku, humorous 17 mora poem. So the Japanese people will know this. Then we have Senkyu. Senkyu means Cnidium rhizome. Then we have Shisen, which is Sichuan or China. Szechuan or Szechuan also. We come across this word in several Chinese dishes as well. In Kun'yomi, we have Kawa for river, stream. Then we have Kawakami for upper reaches of a river or upstream. And we have Horikawa, Horikawa as the canal. It is a radical in itself, Kawa radical or river radical, and the strokes are very, very simple. So three strokes, and except for the first one, both are just simple vertical lines, and the first line will be little bent towards the end. So this is how the water radical has been derived. The kanji is derived. So this is quite clear. This represents the flow of water like in a river. The last kanji for today is the mountain kanji. In On'yomi, we call it san or sen. In Kun'yomi, it is yama. So yama is very, very popular word in Japan, and several surnames of people also ends with yama, and also name of some places also ends in yama or even begins with yama. So san is mount, then we have or mountain, then we have Chisan as forest conservation or afforestation. We have Kaisan as founding a temple on a hilltop. In Kun'yomi, we have Yama for mountain, hill, mine, heap, pile, crown of a hat, thread of a screw, thread of a tire, protruding part of an object, or high part, climax, or peak of something. Then we have Yamakage. Yamakage means a place in the shade of a mountain, shelter of the mountains or mountain races. Then we have Okuyama, which means remote mountain, and we have Seizan, which means lush mountain, green mountains, grave or even burial place. So it depends on the usage of this word, like where and how this has been used with different combinations, so that it may mean lush mountain or green mountains and at the same time grave or a burial place. So friends, this is the radical in itself. We have this the stroke order: first stroke, second stroke, and third stroke. In three strokes, this kanji will be written. So if you look carefully in the second stroke, although the line extends to here, but again we have to draw like this. So this should be done in a single stroke, and then the third stroke. And this is how this symbol has been derived. So this is quite uh, visible here, the three peaks of a mountain, and this kanji represents these three peaks of the mountain, and this is the base of the mountain. So friend, that's all for today. Do practice today's and last lesson's kanjis, that is the 30 kanjis that we studied so far, 20 in the previous lesson and 10 in this lesson, and we shall be back soon with the next set of kanjis. Till then, take care, goodbye, sayonara.